Let's see. What's up, everybody? Can y'all do me a favor and let me know? Tap the hearts and the thumbs up as you come in, so I can know that you can hear me. It's your girl Summer Summer. It's been a minute. I had to take a little roddy ride. I should have been went live. Because I done took up half my time that I had trying to get it together. But I wanted to chime in. I had put up a video yesterday, but I wanted to chime in and talk about it. Let's talk about it. I put a lot of what's been going on between um Lissa, which is Jaden, who is May's son, but his ex, his mom, his mother, his child. I put a lot. Hey, Swiss. Hey, Booga Boo. How you doing, Boo? Can you hear me okay? I got my headphones in, but I be muting myself sometimes. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Hey, Tracy. Let me make sure y'all can hear me before I continue. What's up, y'all? I'm good. Miss you, friend. You can hear me. Okay, awesome. Miss you too. I feel like I done went my own separate way and kind of just left everybody behind unintentionally. But it was like once I stopped doing what I was doing, focusing on other things, I kind of just dropped everybody, which was not the plan. But I guess like that's just life sometimes. But this stuff, when I tell you, is crazy. I have not been tuned into any of the drama until now. I was like, I gotta hear what's going on. I just my nosiness said boop, 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 and I see everybody. I'm not shocked. Everybody jumping on it like me. And I haven't listened to anyone else's opinion or dissection of the information that's being dropped, right? So I can't really speak on anybody else's opinion. I can only imagine what people have to say because I'm pretty sure, especially people that is looking for something to dig into May, took this situation as another way to jump down her throat, right? And something that I had asked myself, and I put it in a video because I know a lot of it was being said, oh, May is keeping a baby, May is keeping a baby away. And I'm like, well, May not even in Texas right now. As far as I know, from what I could see via social media, like May been going for like 2 weeks. So are y'all saying like she got mind control over like Jaden or something? That Jaden is not his own person? Because if y'all listen to the story that the young lady was telling, she said she attempted to go to the house to see Junior while May wasn't even home. And I don't think she realized that May wasn't home. Hey, Jaden. Yes, hey, beautiful. I don't think she realized that when she contacted her that May was not home, that she was out of town. Um, and so I don't know if she attempted to contact Jaden and Jaden just not answering her phone calls and messages. I don't remember if she like said something directly about communication with Jaden or not. But I know she reached out to May and May was like, bye, pretty much like get off her doorstep. May wasn't even home at the time. So I'm listening to the information that the young lady gave, and I had a lot of questions, okay? I had a lot of questions, and I was screaming at the phone, like, why would you say those things, right? And she's young, but we can't use her age as an excuse. You're a mother now, and you have to you got to figure some stuff out. And if you can't figure it out, where are your parents to help you figure it out? Because based on what the young lady is saying, it don't sound like her parents is doing what they need to do. And it made me think about like they're not stepping in how I feel as though that they should. I feel highlight that I feel because if that were my child, it's no way that I would be telling them to kind of sit back and do nothing. And that's what I got from her message that they're pretty much telling her to do nothing, to just wait. And meanwhile, she hasn't seen her baby in weeks. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that part. So I'm listening to it, right? And what I took from what she had to say was she had to relocate. And I seen some comments, and I'm confused about people talking about she shouldn't have moved 4 hours away. She should have thought about it before she moved 4 hours away. Well, maybe she had no other choice but to go 4 hours away. She obviously is not capable of providing for herself right now. Something went on in her household with her mom, I'm assuming. Whether it was a good situation or a bad situation, it was in her best interest at the time to relocate, and that relocation is with her father, and her father so happens to live 4 hours away from Houston. Now that puts her in a bind with her child, right? Because she has to co-parent with this child, and in the midst of her having to make this move, you tell the father of the child they can't. You don't feel comfortable with them taking the baby, which you can feel that way, but you can't tell that man you can't come get your baby and take him with you because you're uncomfortable because you had to move 4 hours away. That's not fair to Jaden. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to him to tell him he could come visit, but he can't take the baby. That's not how it works when it comes to shared custody with a child. Um, and so I'm like, and from my understanding, it sounds like Jaden and them already had the baby in their possession, and or she told them this and then gave them the baby. Well, baby girl, if that was your stance, you should have never let that baby leave your possession, and or you should have waited for the baby to be in your possession before you told him that. Especially if this is a recurring thing. From my understanding, this is not the first time you tried to restrict him seeing the baby. It sounds like it's been a lot of back and forth between them since the breakup, which happens a lot of times. And so people like, fathers have rights, mothers have rights, they do. And y'all can't everybody is hollering like she need to get a baby back. The baby need to be with the mom. Why can't the baby be with the dad? I mean, the baby shouldn't be being kept from nobody. I don't agree with the baby being kept from any one person. But in the scenario, it sounds like either it would have been Jaden who would have been missing out on the opportunity of spending time with his child, or the mother missing out on the opportunity of spending time with their child. And it just so happens that it's the mama that's missing out. So, and I highly doubt that if the shoe were on the other foot, given the atmosphere of social media and how people view May and her household, that they would be up in arms about her keeping the baby away from Jaden. I I think people would be like applauding that because they don't want kids at her home anyway. They will be applauding that because they don't want kids at their home anyway, because their own personal view and opinion of her. They wouldn't be looking at the whole situation like, dang, a father is being kept away from their child. Family members who love the baby is being kept away from the child. It would not be the same on the other foot. Um, and what I don't understand, what it sounds like for me too, it sounds like they're saying they want 50-50 custody, which is fair, right? But why hasn't anybody filed for paperwork? It doesn't sound like Jaden has filed. It doesn't sound like Lissa has filed. And I'm kind of confused about that. If the whole situation is to establish custody, why has nobody filed paperwork? Hey, Cupcake Boo, it doesn't sound like anyone has filed paperwork based on what I've heard. Based on what the young lady has said and based on what I heard from May saying, I didn't hear anyone saying that they have went and filed actual paperwork. Now, my question to the lady Lissa, I don't get why she went on um, Feminine Fierce's panel, right? This is a huge op to May and her family, right? Your child is in their possession. Your goal is to get said child back. I think that will only put you in a position to keep you away from your child even longer to piss them off, right? And while I don't think that the girl said anything to bash Meg on that live, it just was a piss poor decision because I don't see how that would have helped you. Now, if she went on there and her goal was to get up some funds because people offered to actually pay for her to file for emergency custody, people actually offered to pay for and get raise money for her to file for emergency custody, but she turned it down. And she also went further to mention that her family is telling her to just sit and wait and see. So it boggled my mind about what was the point. Was it to what was the point of going? It couldn't help you. It doesn't. That didn't help you in any way, shape, or form. Now, had she went over there and she took the funds for the emergency custody, I'd have been like, oh, she did what she needed to do because she ain't had the money, her family ain't had the money, and so she went over there to get the coins she needs to file for emergency custody. Do what you need to do, sis. But the fact that you turning down funds, or maybe that could just be what she's saying publicly. Maybe she's only saying she not taking the funds publicly. Maybe this is all like um a distraction or something like that to make people believe. Hey, Jamie Boo, to make people believe that she's not. But I don't know. And if that is not the case, again, I'm asking myself, what was the point? All you did was air out your personal business, right? And the thing is, it was stuff that you don't want the public to know because on that, because Connie says she don't do interviews. So on a dialogue that she had with Connie, right? She mentioned how it's things that are personal that she was not going to mention about herself, because it wasn't nobody's business. That now may come out, especially if the other side knows. If May knows, if Jada knows, those things that you want to keep private are now have the opportunity for it to come out publicly is now higher versus than it was before when you was not playing social media games, right? But now that you crossed over into the social media world, is no telling what they might tell the people. So your secrets won't be safe. While I feel like she kept it very minimum, I feel like she didn't spill no actual, well, she didn't tell like no secrets per se. She shared her concerns about certain things, but she didn't go drop no like tea that people wanted to hear to be able to be like, oh, I knew it. Like especially when they asked about the whole Ivan linked up thing and all that stuff. I know people was hoping to see like, no, her and Whitney wasn't going through nothing. She really did cheat and it was more than once. Like people was hoping to hear that type of situation. So I really think that she kept it real cool and she kept herself collected when it came to that. And I give her props for that, for not going over there and just, if it was anything to tell, she didn't go over there just dropping the beans. If something was asked she didn't want to share, she had no problem with saying, no, I ain't come here for that. So she got some type of sense. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Melly Mel, she got some type of sense or whatever. So I just don't get what was the purpose of it. And it sounds like they had something in place, right? And I don't know if her family is just not telling her and not talking to her, but you moved 4 hours away. And if you're concerned about him not being willing to pick such, bring the child back or pick up, bring the child back on an agreed time because of how far it is, it's up to you to figure out how to go get your baby, to meet him halfway, to be able to agree, well, if you pick him up, I'll drop him off. Any judge that you go before is not going to say it's on Jaden to get the baby there because you don't drive. So you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to figure that part out because it's not on him to have to take on that huge responsibility of traveling those many hours to see his child. Now, if he's willing to do so, kudos to him, but it's not all on him. And I don't know if her family is just not telling her these things, but they should be. And if you were able to make it up there the weekend before last, I think it was, to go try to go see the baby, then the same way you got there the weekend before last, baby girl, you're going to be having to make arrangements when it's time to pick up Junior or drop Junior off. And it's sad because Junior, I'm pretty sure, loves both of his parents. And so for that baby not to be able to see her mom, his mom, is sad. And in situations where May described that Jaden was being kept away from her son is sad. He shouldn't be being prevented from seeing his son because of whatever petty BS y'all got going on, and she shouldn't be prevented from seeing her son. Not unless like it's some type of safety thing. And something, let's talk about safety, right? Because something I was like, oh no, that's not cool, right? May spoke about CPS. 9 times out of 10, after she went on that panel, mind you, this is the same group of people, and I'm not going to say Connie did it, but it's the Connie caters to an audience that is prone to calling CPS. These very same group of people have came together to try to get CPS to come in and investigate, have the baby removed, or whatever the case may be. You wouldn't set in amongst these same people. I don't get that. I would never. I'm just never. It's just never, never, never going to happen. So these same people are 9 times out of 10 going to call CPS again. I would be very surprised if calls to CPS are not made. These very same people are probably going to call CPS. Now that could work in her favor in this scenario because if CPS comes in and they actually find something or feel like it's not a good place for the baby to be, then that would then push the baby back into the daughter's arms, right? I mean, to the to the mom's arms. However, May mentioned how she has some photos and things like that that could show signs of um, her being an unfit parent or harm to the baby. Something about black eyes. Now, I'm gonna say this: if you have photos of that baby, right? With black eyes that you didn't believe the story that she told, why is this something that you're holding on to and about to talk about now? Because we would have been here withholding the baby for safety reasons long ago. It would have happened when that black eye popped up. That would not have been something I set on. And I don't know what she did at the time when she came across those black eyes. But the fact that it's going to be used as a possible tool against her to strip her personal rights to me is weird behavior. And I'm gonna straight up say that that's weird behavior because if I was a grandparent and I believe that the mom of my grandchild was doing something to my grandbaby, putting my grandbaby in harm's way, we would have been here court court proceedings back then when these black eyes occurred. Um, Not now because of the petty stuff y'all getting into. I know y'all see me trying to get over. You see my light, bro. Sorry, y'all. Cause you see my light. Like, why wouldn't you try to let me get over? Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I was like, yeah, that didn't look good on me part at all. Like at all. And if this is something that was already talked about and like, okay, why is it now being brought back up? Because if it wasn't settled, my grandbaby, we would already been here. Yeah, I'm driving and I was trying to get over and I had my blinker on and they see me trying to get over. So I said, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to bully. Y'all not just gonna slow down for me like on purpose. So I'll get over on my own. So I had to get over on my own because what you're not gonna do is force me to go in a direction I don't want to be going. But anyway, so I'm like, and again, I don't know what happened, but if it was a concern, baby, we'd have been here a long time ago. Just like her with the baby was saying that the baby had some type of mark. Now I can't tell from that picture if that's what that is. She believed she had concerns about it being HSV, right? Her response to me was not a concerned parent. You talk to Jaden about your concerns allegedly, and then you don't take the baby to the doctor. That made absolutely no sense. And again, where are your parents? Like, if this was your concern, right? You know that the grandmama is positive for one and two. Nobody said take the baby to the doctors. Go get it checked and make sure that's not what it is. Nobody, even her response from what she relayed about Jaden was to me was like, where is the urgency? Where is the concern? You know what I mean? Um, so again, just like why wouldn't you take the baby to the doctor? You say you didn't have the baby long enough, baby. Having the baby in your possession is long enough. The moment that you saw this thing on the lip that had you concerned whether it was HSV, should have had you on your way in a UBER, on a BUS, and a CAB, on the telephone, calling the daddy up. Come take me to the hospital, to the emergency room, to the urgent care, to something to something. But I'm not, it's no way. And again, her being young is not an excuse because even though you're young, you have common sense to say, hey, what is this? Could this possibly be that? And if you wonder if it was that, why would you not take the baby to the hospital? But in this, that didn't make sense to me. Me either. I pray that's not what it is. Is no way. My excuse for not going to get my baby checked is I didn't have him long enough. Whatever I had going on would have had to stop. And nobody would have been able to come get the baby till we went to the doctors. That's what I said. Jaden wasn't concerned either. But According to May, she said that he had a May's explanation. So this was my concern for her. Apparently, as far as Jaden and May goes, whatever the bump was on her lip, she said was baby acne, which is the thing. People call them milk bumps or whatever. She said the bump was popped and it was she was like he's very light, so it was red, and then it went away. That was it. Never nothing else. It was not no herpes. May has experienced blisters on her lips. She said it did not look like that at all. It was just like a baby pimple. The pimple was popped. It left a little red mark, and then it cleared up. So that's why they didn't have a concern about what she thought, whatever she thought it was. And that's where the red mark came from. But that doesn't excuse why she wouldn't have taken them if that was her concern. Because, baby, we would have been at the doctors. Point blank, period. But it sounds like she's been playing games with the baby. Her, May, it sounds like she's been doing things. And the screenshot, some of the messages that May showed yesterday, even though she didn't show everything because she said she wanted to get from what I saw, because I didn't watch all of it. I don't know if she went further into it later into the live or not. But the last I saw was just a couple of messages she showed on her screen. She said she was going to ask Jaden if she could show the messages, but she showed messages where, like, the girl was complaining about Jaden reaching out to her parents. Obviously, it was some type of whatever going on where he couldn't talk to her. So he's trying to go through the parents for whatever he's trying to accomplish, and she's getting pissed off because he's going over her head. So it sounds like it's been games being played, and possibly the baby has been being used as a pawn, like May is saying. She already said she felt some type of way and flipped out about finding out that Jaden had a girlfriend. Um, Flipped out about Jaden having a girlfriend, or whatnot, and she may have asked sporadic, because she probably still care about him, wanted things to work out, young love. She mentioned that Jaden had cheated on her. I'm not going to say that I don't believe that. This is what she said. And May said something about, is texting cheating? It depends on the dynamics of the text. Because absolutely, if you talking to somebody and that's not what we doing, that's not what how our relationship is ran, and you communicating with another person, another female in private, that's a problem for me. And I absolutely, depending on the type of conversation y'all having, could be considered cheating. Cheating goes beyond just intercourse. Cheating happens way before getting in the bed with somebody. It can be emotional cheating, physical cheating, mental cheating. There's all different types of things that can happen that can be considered cheating. And it's about the individuals. And it sounds like she considered that cheating not only once but twice. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it really don't matter how we see it. Even May sees it. It mattered how she saw it, and how what she communicated to Jada and how she felt about that situation. She also said she cheated. He ain't want to go out with her for her birthday. Now that's not cool. Ain't no tit for tat. And if you was in that position where you felt like things was not going the way you wanted them to go and you was ready to slide, you should have said, all right, this ain't working. I'm gonna go ahead and go my way, you go your way. Cheating is never the answer. You know what I'm saying? Cheating don't have nothing to do with junior visitation, and co-parenting still needs to stay routine for junior well-being. Sounds like Alyssa wasn't willing to do that. Right. I'm not going to when I first heard just Alyssa part before I even heard what May had to say, soon as Alyssa said out of her mouth, I told him he can't pretty much, you can't take the baby with you because I live 4 hours away and I don't feel comfortable, but you could come see him. I said, baby girl, that was the wrong thing to do right then and there. Because you're not gonna tell me I can't come take my baby because you moved 4 hours away. Because if I get my baby, you're probably not going to get him back until we go to court. And if you had the baby and you refused to give me the baby, I would have been at the courthouse though. Why is nobody at the courthouse? A lot of people say that, like, oh, why nobody, people don't be getting DNA tests. It would be the best thing to go down there and get custody established and stuff like that to avoid us. But people don't do that. Going to get custody paperwork for a child is not of emotion. That's actually smart. Because this situation, if y'all had custody paperwork through the court system, would not be happening. She would be able to show. hey, this is our custody agreement. We have 50-50 custody. The agreement that we had was 1 week on, 1 week off. He has went beyond his 1 week. I'm supposed to have the baby, and then the cops will step in to get your baby. That's not acting out of emotion. That's smart. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. And if they have, right, they could do the paperwork themselves, but they still have to wait for a court date. They don't. They could use an arbitrator. I don't know if they could use. They possibly could. I don't know. I guess it depends on the state. I don't know if they could go use like a what are those people called that you go to get the signature? They stand in as a witness. What is it called? Dang, what is it called? Oh man, what is it called? What's the people called? Yeah, but you still needed a court date, Miss Tracy. You still need a court date. A notary. I don't know if they could use a notary, like went and got put up a legal document and had a notary sign it. Like this was our agreement. If that would work, yes, a notary public. I don't know if that would have worked. Um, but since they already both sound like they only want 50-50 custody, it shouldn't be drawn out. It shouldn't be a drawn out situation, but they still have to get there to the court for the mediator to get the paperwork signed off for, which still could take months. Because I know someone personally who did that with their ex they share a child with. They still had to wait for a court date, even though they came up with the terms on their own and they just needed the paperwork signed. They still had to wait, and it took a while for them to get a court date. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that nobody has started the paperwork is blowing my mind. From what I understand, neither side has went and filed paperwork. What are y'all waiting for? And especially the young lady that went on Connie's live, because if you want your baby back, what is the? She like I didn't file emergency. Okay, cool. But what about regular? What about just paperwork? Generally speaking, like why is I don't know. That's why is the process not started? Because when you get a notarized letter from somebody saying which I want that documents to because it's a right. See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that is a possibility too. Like if that's something they wanted to, they could look into the law to see if that is a legal binding document. And if it is, she could call the cops and ask them that. And if all they want is 50-50 custody, they could go down, print out a form to make it official, shoot, use Chat GPT, go down to the notary, both of them have it signed, and go on about their day. But it makes me think back to when it was said that her parents and them didn't even want her to keep the baby. And the fact that they have no urgency and it sounds like they kind of backing May, maybe they don't want the baby to go back. Alyssa also needs to understand that when it's dad time with baby, he can parent. Yeah, that's something. Another thing, that chicken nugget thing. Now, I'm gonna say this: if the girl was expressing that she want the baby to eat a certain way, generally speaking, I think it should have been respected, right? However, that's not the real world, baby girl. Especially if y'all are not together. If Jaden, the daddy, is not on the same page as you, as far as his eating restrictions and how he wants him to eat, it's nothing you can do about that. When you go to finally go to court, if y'all ever file paperwork, the judge is not going to say, Jaden and Maybach, do not give that boy McDonald's. They're not. They're not. All you can do is feed him how you want him to eat when he's with you, and they're going to feed him how they want to feed him when they're with him. It would be nice that y'all were all on the same page, especially since what the girl wants is for him to have a healthy diet. That should be respected. That should be like, okay, yeah, let's do this because it will be for the betterment of his health. And the fact that May was trying to show that McDonald's looked like she was trying to show that it's healthy, girl, May, stop it. You know daggone well that McDonald's is trash. All major fast food lines are trash. McDonald's is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, option for fast food a person could eat. The worst. Likely the I would if I bet I probably would put money on that. McDonald's is the worst fast food place you probably could eat from. Legitimate. Legitimately. Now that message and that she sent to me was she was popping her stuff. She was definitely, her tone was aggressive and disrespectful. However, it sounds like she was at a boiling point because she had already expressed certain things to them and it was going ignored. So now I'm like, I keep asking nice, I keep asking nice, I keep asking nice, and I keep getting ignored. So now I gotta rah rah rah. That's how I am with my kids. I asked y'all nice. I told you this. I asked you this. I asked you this. Don't do this. Don't do this. No, don't do that. Don't do that, baby. No, no, no. Stop do that. That's what happens. When you gotta repeat yourself too many times, you get rocked. You know what I'm saying? So if that was the case, it needs to be accountability for May. Like if that's the truth, if she had expressed herself and she was kind, then she should understand why she was upset. Now, May was on that live calling that girl all types of B words and all kinds of stuff. Now, May said, well, I got messages where she was calling me a B word. Okay, but that was in private. We ain't know nothing about that. When she was on this live panel, she didn't disrespect you. She didn't bash you. She didn't drag you. She just told her truth. When you went live, I'm like, bruh, you ain't got to do that girl like that. Come on. You the grandma. You the adult. You supposed to be the level headed one in this situation. You know what I'm saying? It can't always be about you and how you feel. It can't be. It got to be about Junior, about the baby, and just conduct yourself in a way that, first of all, would not hinder the process. I think going live, both of them was weird. I mean, it was weird for the girl to go live. I think May shouldn't have responded. Not saying she wrong for for speaking up, but yeah, wrong. Like I ain't saying you wrong, but you're wrong. Meaning like it was just not the best decision to make. I don't know. Let's see what they say. Yes. Tiffany, I had to unhide your message. When last night when I seen May was live and I seen Junior on the live, I was like, come on, May. Come on, May. You being petty, bruh. The girl can't see her baby, and now you gonna put her on live because you know 9 times out of 10 she watching. Like we being petty. I'm not gonna act like she yeah being petty, especially after she said she had stopped showing Junior and stuff like that. Why is Junior now on the live stream in the midst of all this? I think that was petty. I think that was petty and insensitive. On the flip side, if you want to look at it on the flip side, at least you can see Junior as well. He was clean. He looks fed. He looks happy. So, if she looks at it from the flip side, she could say, well, dang, at least I know he good. Especially since nobody's answering my calls. They won't let me talk, see him. She might not be able to FaceTime him. I definitely thought it was petty um for her to show the baby on live stream last night. I thought that was petty. I'm not going to hold y'all. I think that was petty as hell. Well, that's good. That's good if she said that he could FaceTime, especially if she hasn't been able to. That's a positive in my book. Hopefully she actually allows the dialogues to happen. Yeah. I don't know what type time they on in Texas. I'd have been at Jaden job. I mean, first and foremost, I'd have been at the courthouse already. I don't understand why nobody is filing paperwork, especially her, since her concern is the baby. Why is no paperwork? Them talking about we trying to get things together. It's nothing to get together but the paperwork. You could be sleeping on the couch of your daddy house, and a judge is going to let you get your baby. He's not going to take the baby from Jaden, but he's going to put you in a position where you can see your child, and the child can't be being kept from you. So, what do you need to get together? And if your goal is to, that's what she should have, right, should have faced. Yeah, I wouldn't have put her on live, put the baby on live first. That's why I said if you want to look at the flip side, I would have called, if I'm like, oh, she could talk to the baby and I know the baby hasn't been, that's why I said petty, because I would have just, let's call your mom. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Or Jaden, let the baby talk to the mom. She ain't talk to the mom. Let him see the baby. Let him see the mom. This, that, and the third. I wouldn't have put the baby on live. But I'm trying to find a silver lining. You know what I'm saying? Um, Damn, I was about to say something. I forget what I was about to say. Dang, I forget what I was about to say. Yeah. I would have been down there. I'd have been the paperwork would have been filed. I don't understand what they. Oh, I don't understand what the holdup is. Even I'm talking about getting things together. If the goal is to get more than 50-50, and if your goal is to actually take away his ability to take the baby, baby girl, you still can go in for 50-50 custody so that they aren't able to keep the baby away from you, right? And you still could work on whatever it is you need to work on, and you could take them back to court to get the visitation adjusted. Okay, Melly Mel. But I'm not finna wait to try to get nothing together. That could take you forever to get whatever you're trying to get together. No, we following the paperwork today. We're gonna go ahead and get this 50-50 in the works. And then if it's something else that I feel like I want to do, because maybe I feel like my baby is not safe. Because even people I seen people in the comments saying it was cool when she was staying here. Well, it's different. She was there with the baby. She was able to see, watch over the child, prevent certain things if she wanted to prevent it. It's different when you're not under the same roof as the individual. So while something may have been okay while she was there present, it's not the same when you're not. It's kind of like I don't play about watering the kids. So yeah, we can go to the beach. We can go to the pool. Yeah, come on, baby girl, we gonna go. But if somebody else asks to take my baby to the beach, to the pool, I'm probably gonna say no if I can't be there because I can't be there to protect, to shelter, to cover. So people saying it was cool when she was there. Okay, she was there though. When you're there, when you're somewhere physically, you're able to do things how you want them to do. When you're not there, you have no control over it. And her being in the household, seeing certain things, whatever it may be, maybe she would not be okay with her child being a part of those things, um, or positive that Jaden will remove the baby from that scenario because they don't share, obviously, they don't share the same view of certain things when they arguing about chicken nuggets. Mm. Period. I would have filed paperwork the same day. Soon as he would have been like, you ain't getting your baby, the first stop would have been a courthouse. The first stop would have been a courthouse. And it's sad to see this play out on social media. It's sad that she chose to bring it to social media because this is just another thing for people to drag out and talk about on social media. And I hope for the sake of the baby that this doesn't turn into something much bigger than what it has to be. I pray that they can figure it out. It sounds like Jaden took a stand for what he wanted. I mean, because he has to be in order for the baby not being able to be released to you. So hopefully y'all go file the paperwork, y'all get it situated so the baby can see the mama and the daddy. Okay. And that's pretty much my 2 cents that nobody asked for that I wanted to give. I'm back home. So I'm gonna go in here and go mind my business, go back to doing what I was doing, edit these videos of my own content, and you get into it. Let me read some comments. They both young and have a lot to learn. They will figure it out. I have faith and I hope they stay away from social media going forward because too many people are trying to get involved. And that's exactly the only thing that's going to happen. A bunch of people like me and everybody else in their mouth. Oh, and let me say this about Connie. A lot of people mad at Connie for that, for doing that girl interview. I'm not mad at Connie. Now, will I have done it? Probably not. But y'all know me. A lot of stuff I turn down or won't do because of my moral compass, right? But that's not good for a blogger. My type of compass is not good for a person that's trying to be a blogger, a T page, because you miss out on a lot of the scoop when you have the boundaries that I have. Now, what I will say in Connie's defense is she said that they talked about resources behind the scene. um, she gave her put her in a position where people were ready and willing to offer her coins to pay for services, lawyers, paperwork for her to go do what she needed to do for Junior. And she also advised her that she think that this could hurt her case. And the girl still wanted to come on live. Connie just did what she does as a blogger, and she's going to ask the questions. Her page is based around Maybay. Her page is Maybay. It's Maybay. Her page is Maybay T, the Maybay drama, the Maybay malarkey. So for anybody who was like appalled or shocked that she asked certain questions trying to get certain tea, is why are you surprised? Why are you surprised? Connie didn't go looking for her. Alyssa came looking for her. I remember I thought Alyssa didn't like Connie. But it seems like every time people get into some type of sticky situation or in a position where they are now on the outs with May, the first thing they do is turn to her ups. I don't get it. Like, why is that the first thing that people are doing when they fall out with May? Y'all no longer cool. Y'all no longer friends. It's like y'all run right into like the ops hands and just do we forget like what happened because they was on your ass too, baby girl. They was on your ass trying to get Junior pulled away from you. And again, let me make this clear. I'm not saying you, Tommy, was trying to get the baby taken away, but you, as well as anyone else who sits over there, know that a lot of the people in your audience is trigger happy and um, make phone calls and things like that to have authority figures come in to ruffle the feathers of the babies, which is not cool. And it's like, do we forget those things? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. Kylie was trying to get the tea as she should. If I would have took the interview, I definitely would have been asking some of the very same questions that she asked. I probably would have asked, "Well, what's up with the mom? Why you had to move out of the mama house? Like, what's up with that? Why, what was the move about?" I definitely would have asked that. She probably wouldn't have told us. Definitely would have asked about the Ivan thing. I definitely would have asked about the Whitney thing. If those these are some things that if I would have taken the interview that I would have asked because it's what a T page should do, is what a blogger page should do. And I don't think that Connie did too much in that interview, like at all. So yeah, I mean, based on what I saw, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the part when Lissa was actually on the live that first night. Seeing when she came back up and some of the stuff ended up changing. Like when she spoke about May supposedly took the baby to Foodie World and then it came out that never happened. So it was like, oh, were you looking for things and just pick on with May? Because that's what it was given after you had to come up there and correct, oh no, I did mix up the dates. No, she wasn't with her. So you just was looking for something to pick on, it sounds like. I'm not gonna hold you. That looked like you was looking for something to pick on, like throw on her face, like take a shot because May is prone to befriending people who was her arch nemesis. I don't get that, but she grown, she can do what she wanna do. Um, so yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oops, okay, you messed that up. And when she cleared up, when she contacted her, when she was like, maybe trying to keep the baby, and maybe was like, I wasn't even home, I was out of town. So case either. Um, I was like, oops, I guess baby, you ain't paying attention enough. You ain't paying attention enough. You young. I hope you go talk to somebody because I don't sound like they don't sound like they sound like they got other plans. It sound like they got other plans. I will say that the amount of smoke detectors constantly beeping would drive me nuts. So many people on panels with that noise. Oh my God. My friend pointed that out, like, oh my God, for goodness sake, change your batteries. I'm like, what? I think I hear it so often, I don't hear it in the lives. Oh, something else I wanted to speak on. People were talking about, oh, yeah, they had a point. When Jack, messy behind, sat in Connie Live, no, remember when she said they wasn't living there, so how was she taking care of them? Y'all know damn well Tony was like, "Oh yeah, she probably just was being petty, right?" But y'all know damn well that when May was telling y'all that the boy and the girl was not living there, it was to protect Junior because everybody kept calling CPS. She was doing what a grandmom should do: protect her grandchild. To tell y'all people, no, they don't live here, and hopes that y'all won't send CPS there to disturb their newborn child. So stop it. That was not no point. They did not make no point. It was that was null and void. Okay, May was doing what she was supposed to do as a grandma to protect her grandbaby, um, as she should have. Shot when I seen that, I said, "Now Jack being a messy ass." Miss Antoinette, Miss Antoinette, love you and miss you. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I think that's a super chat. Super sticker. I never know what's what. Summer girl, they act like they so ignorant. Child, I know Jack was probably just being funny. And I'm sure Connie was just being petty, like, no, remember you said this, now you're saying that. No, come on now. Everyone with any lick of sense know that she said that to protect the baby, as she should as a grandma, with people just making stupid calls to CPS that's unwarranted. Yeah, she knew sweets. That's why I said she was being a smart ass. I'm gonna need Jack to come to the front of the room now. She on a docket. Child, not on the docket. And I heard somebody say that next that she wasn't going live no more. I meant to answer that. I didn't know that. We're not getting messy mornings no more. All right, y'all, for I'm gonna go. I enjoyed this dialogue. I'm actually happy that I was able to speak on it, that I actually paid attention. Um, but yeah, if y'all not following, make sure y'all follow my page. My content is now geared more towards me and what I got going on. You told me to call you. I ain't see that some speech. You should have called me. I'll call you when I get off the live. My content is more geared towards me. I really don't know if I'm going to get back into the actual blogging, like putting up clips. I might do little logs like this when I catch stuff enough of it to speak on it. But you probably just going to be seeing cakes and foods in my day to day vlog. Like me and my baby girl did a vlog today that I'm going to edit and put up at some point this week or next week. She now has a page. So if you guys have any children that you allow to watch YouTube for kid friendly content, follow my baby girl's page. It's called Lay's Corner. She has her picture up there. I think I shared it to my YouTube. I definitely shared it to my Facebook. Have all the kiddos follow her. It'll be all kid friendly content, no adult stuff. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. So I hope that you guys will follow and tell your babies about it. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get up off this thing. Y'all have a great rest of the day. If y'all forecast is calling for a bunch of rain, stay dry, you guys. Talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Be kind to somebody. Be nice. Compliment somebody. You never know how it might change their day. Talk to y'all soon. Bye, baby girls.